What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be doing a full walk around on my 2003 E55 AMG. I'm going to be showing you what's done to it, what's going to be the future for it. So stick around and I'll show you. So starting off in the front, we obviously have the E63 front end conversion, and I just personally like this a lot better than the stock E55 one. This makes it a lot more aggressive and it just complements the car so much more for what it's packing. So we have the XY front carbon fiber lip here, makes it a little bit more aggressive, paired with the daytime running lights. These are also carbon fiber, and I feel like it just modernizes it a little bit more as well. As you can also see, we have the facelift reflector pieces on the inside. I actually took these apart myself and put these in. The stock pre-facelift doesn't have these lines here, and this sits way more recessed. I just feel like it complements the body lines a little bit more. This is obviously the V8 compressor. I just recently rebadged this. For a while, this was a E350, or at least identified as an E350. Now forgive me, this car is really dirty. I just took it on a rally all the way from Jacksonville, Florida to Tampa, non-stop, and this is the first video. But as you can see, we have panel black wheels with a paint matched lip. This is brilliant silver on the lip, and I think it just complements it, the silver and black. Moreover, on the side, we also have the facelift side mirrors. In my opinion, I like these a lot more than the stock pig ears on the pre-facelift. They just look better. Unfortunately, they were not power fold, but they were still easy to install. This does have the keyless go as well, with the panel roof. Now we don't have any side skirts yet or the rear bumper splitter, but we do have a rear diffuser on here with CLS 6.3 mufflers. The reason I went with CLS 63 mufflers is because the tips actually stick out a lot more than, let's say, the C63, and they're just as loud or nearly as loud as C63 ones. Now we do have obviously black badges here. We do have a carbon fiber rear spoiler along with a E63 third brake light. The reason I went with the E63 one is because it was a lot cheaper than the E55 one, and in my opinion it looks just as good. As you can see, those muffler tips stick out just perfectly enough with the rear diffuser. Now in the future, like I said, we will be adding side skirts to help make it look a little bit more aggressive. But moving on the inside of this is in really good condition. Everything works. Seats look pretty good for being 22 years old. The biggest question I get of this car, there's a little bit of an exhaust tease for you guys. The biggest question I get with this car is, where is the steering wheel from? As you can see, this steering wheel is not stock to this car. The one that came in the E55, honestly, was not exactly the prettiest. It didn't exactly feel the best. It was made out of like this rubber type plastic. This one's made out of Napa leather, and it contours really well with my hands. It also has the newer style AMG paddle shifters up and down, and obviously has the AMG embroidery here. But I got this custom made for me off of a seller on eBay, and this just feels really nice. Now, in order to get these paddle shifters to work, you do have to get a little computer in order to translate the signal, but it's very easy to install. Now moving on over, everything in the car interior wise looks pretty good. Everything works, all the buttons work. We do have a little AM wideband here that's gonna be in another video. At the moment is just mocked up in there. This does have, again, the keyless go. But this radio is actually out of a 2008 E63. It's actually Very easy to swap these over. They just plug and play. But the reason I swapped an OEM head unit into this was because this one came with a cassette tape and it was just not that good. It didn't have aux or anything. So early 2003 cars did not have aux. Now I obviously have aux in here. This had the Nokia phone, but I reran the aux from the glove box where it normally would be to come out of the center console, and I removed the Nokia phone here. It wasn't working, it was just taking up space. Unfortunately, this center console is bubbling. I would say that's like the major thing wrong with the interior besides the common headliner sag, which we will be taking care of in a other video. But we'll also be taking care of this. Now this car doesn't have too many miles on it, just 82,000. So this car is now starting to see some higher mileage, but this M113K, if taken care of properly, lasts you a long time. Now this car is still on air suspension, so I still do have the air suspension ability, or the airmatic ability to raise and lower the car, and Sport 1, Sport 2, and Comfort mode. Now unfortunately we don't have Parktronic, but it's okay. In the future I may be retrofitting Distronic for this car. I have the Mercedes DOS software, so that will be possibly in a later video. But like I said, everything in here works, from the airbags in the seats to all the little nooks and crannies. The wood in here just looks like how it came out of the showroom floor. It looks amazing. Same thing with the seats. Now coming to the rear seats. I don't really use the rear seats too much. It's just me driving this. So they look pretty much new. The only major thing I would say currently bugging me is the subwoofer. The subwoofer in this is blown out. So I've already started taking it apart, and I will be replacing it with a custom enclosure and a custom subwoofer. The sunshade also still works perfectly. And as you can see, this is tinted. The legal amount, of course. I think it just makes it a lot more sleeker. It's obviously with ceramic tint, so it helps keep out the heat, but honestly it just complements the silver and black in my opinion. Now moving on to what I'm sure you guys have been waiting for, under the hood. So under the hood we have the 5.4 hand-built supercharged V8, also known as the M113K, and as you can see, it's a little bit modified. So starting off with the looks wise, it obviously has the powder coated black coating on the surge tanks with paint matched valve covers. Now I did have some carbon fiber intakes for this, but since the plastic throttle body clip on my car is broken, they were actually pushing the airbox off the throttle body and stuff almost got sucked up into it. So for now we have those removed, but this will not be stock. We will be changing this in the future, so stay tuned for that. Now as you can see, we have a 76mm clutched supercharger pulley. There is a difference. You can go clutchless, which it activates the supercharger all the time, but you do need a little bit more cooling than what I currently have, and I honestly just don't want to deal with that. So we did go clutched, and it's better for drivability. If you don't know, this is a supercharger magnet, and it activates this clutch, pulling this, engaging the supercharger. But you also have the throttle body and bypass throttle body that work in conjunction with this. So in order to keep this car cool, because these cars love to heat soak, especially with smaller pulleys, we have a underhood tank paired with a secondary heat exchanger from Souvenir, paired with a bigger primary, and pumping fluid through this is a CWA 150 coolant pump. Now that is wired to be keyed on all the time, so from key position 2 it turns on. I know I need to fix this wiring, and that'll be in a different video, but that helps me keep my intake air temperatures about 15 to 20 degrees over ambient. Now possibly in the future we may go top mounts, I'm not sure yet. Now here's what I'm sure you guys have been waiting for this entire time. A exhaust startup on my car. So this also does have long tube headers paired to this CLS 63 mufflers, and they just sound mean. Now this car does have the 8 piston calipers to help stop this 5.4 supercharged V8. Now I'm not exactly sure how much horsepower this is making. From the factory it did make 469 horsepower, but obviously since it has a 76mm supercharged pulley paired with long tube headers, it is making a little bit more than stock. Comment down below what you guys think this car is pushing. Maybe in the future I'll take it to the dyno so we can really see. Now, thank you everybody for watching the video. Please let me know what you want to see done to this car. What would you do to the car? If I should do anything else to it, or should I just leave it alone? But please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.